All right, so you're out there working your final expense leads and you've been seeing these advertisements or offers for aged final expense leads. You're thinking about buying them, but before you do, you want to make sure that if you buy these leads, you know how to best work them. And this video is going to serve as a platform, a template, if you will, to working aged final expense leads successfully. My name is David DuFord, owner of DuFord Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell final expense Medicare and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. So let's talk about aged final expense leads. Should you buy them or shouldn't you buy them? It really comes down to what your budget is and your certain lead situation is. I always looked at aged leads as filler leads, not as a primary source of leads. They are good when you're low on your primary sources of leads, such as your fresh and exclusive Facebook leads, direct mail leads, and in some cases, telemarketed leads. So if you're looking at these as should you buy them, I would look at it like that, to fill in the gaps where your existing leads are lacking. Another way to look at these is a good way to start kind of with training wheels without putting a ton of money into your leads. Again, not a substitute for your primary leads, but a way to get started working prospects, albeit not the strongest, but a way to kind of just get out there and get some reps in to start before your fresh leads start hitting. So with that said, how do you work aged final expense leads? So first of all, assuming you're a face-to-face agent, I highly recommend that you exclusively door knock these leads. Here's why. A lot of these leads, when you call, first of all, will have disconnected numbers. Second of all, when you call and they pick up, they'll yell and scream at you because you're the 4th, 5th, 10th person that's called on them, and you'll have a lot less of an edge or advantage to actually speak with them and set an appointment. Whereas if you show up at the door, most agents aren't door knocking these leads. Second of all, your prospects are usually a lot nicer when they're at the door and are more willing to listen to a little bit of what you have to say, and that's all it takes in many times. And if you do this, you're going to get more mileage out of these leads. Now, what if you're doing telesales, you're doing final expense telesales? Well, you got what you got. You're just going to have to accept a lower conversion point, but hey, it is what it is. But best way to work these, especially face-to-face, is to door knock and not necessarily call them. Second thing is to treat these exactly like a fresh lead. A lot of questions I get asked from agents is, okay, this lead's like 2 years old. How do I address the fact that they sent this off a long time ago? Well, you don't. You see, you act as if they just sent it back and you're just getting back to them because you've been so delayed in actually following up with your prospects. So when I door knock these leads, again, I'm not giving them the lead to show them where their age was 67 and now they're 69. I'm showing them the lead and I'm saying, hey, you sent this card back requesting information about final expense coverage, and I pull it back before the client can get too in-depth and start reading any further. Now, why is that? Because what'll happen is they'll start to use that as reasons not to talk to you. Oh, I sent that off years ago, I'm not interested anymore. We want them to think that they did this recently and they just forgot. Now, of course, if they ask you, can I see that and look at it? Of course, I'm going to let them show them. I'm going to tell them when they send it back. But I'm not going to volunteer the information. Instead, I'm just going to use the same old appointment setting script at the door or over the phone in order to get and book the appointment, okay? Now, again, let's just address the age question. Is it a problem that they're old? Well, yeah, sometimes people have bought and they're content. But there's a lot of people that bought coverage, lapsed it, would like to get it back, or maybe they bought too expensive coverage they don't realize is not the best deal for them. So these are really good leads when they're used in the right manner. But when it comes to prospecting these leads, back on topic here, just treat them like any exact fresh lead. And then the one last thing I'll suggest you to do is to use what's called a refresher letter before you go door knock or call the lead. So here's exactly how it works. The refresher letter is mailed off in a white or vanilla, whatever it's called, envelope. Who uses mail anymore these days, right? And then put a stamp on it, a live stamp, and then handwrite your name and your address, and their address, of course, and their name on it, and then send that off in the mail. Here's what happens. First of all, letters that look like personal handwritten letters with real stamps always get open. It's almost 100% open rate because who mails anything anymore, right? And so it's a huge thing when you do it. You're going to get a lot more attention. Second of all, when you know they're going to open it up, they're going to read it, and the refresher letter usually says something like, hey, this is David DuFord. I'm following back up with you. You sent a copy of this card back. It's my job to deliver this information to you. Just letting you know I'm going to be either calling you to set an appointment, or I'm going to be stopping by if I'm in town in between appointments to show you how this program works. Sign your name, blah, 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 license number, etc. And you want to use a mugshot or a professional photo of you in the letter so that the people can recognize you when you're showing up at the door to door knock them, okay? Then send those out like on a Thursday or Friday if you plan on starting to door knock, say, on a Monday. Gives them enough time to read it and then hopefully remember when you actually show up. And then you just do your thing. You call or you set appointments, and what you will discover is that you will get more people receptive to having you talk to them. You'll get more people in the door to do appointments, and I think you'll be more successful with the strategy overall than if you didn't use it. Now, do you absolutely have to do a refresher letter? No. But for the small time it takes to type up a form letter, sign 100 leads, let's say, use 100 stamps and 100 envelopes, maybe $50 to $100 roughly, that little extra investment goes a long way in your ability to convert more appointments. So I think it's well worth the effort. So bottom line, working age final expense leads works. Again, we want to treat these like they are brand new, like they just came in, even though they may be years old. We preferentially want to door knock instead of call them, but you got to do what you got to do. And lastly, if you want improved or enhanced results, try a refresher letter. Try to send a letter out ahead of time before you show up so that you'll be able to conceivably get more appointments and convert more sales from them. Hope you enjoyed this free training on working final expense aged leads. My name is David Duford. If you're interested in looking at an organization to sell final expense, either face-to-face or over the phone, including things like Medicare and annuities, I've got a link above and below. Just click that link to learn more about how my agency works. If you have any comments or questions about anything I've said in this video, you're welcome to leave them below. And feel free, if you haven't, to subscribe. I do training like this daily. So if you like this kind of content, I keep it coming in a large level of frequency. David Duford logging off. See you next time.